Oh my gosh. Action! Hopefully. Hi there, YouTube. It is 2:30 on the dot. Okay, now it's 2:31. But I did get to say that. Oh my gosh. I am currently in the middle of a blizzard right now. So I want to apologize in advance, like not in advance, but just right off the bat, like right now, if this stream has any issues. I mean, I mentioned a lot lately that most of my streams tend to have issues a lot of times nowadays, especially regardless. But with that, and then combined with the fact that it's a pretty crazy blizzard here where I am right now, you know, I'm pretty apprehensive about this stream. But luckily, I don't think I'm going to care too much about how this one goes, which is a great feeling. I look and feel awful. My cheeks are beet red because I was just shoveling a lot of snow. It's very, very windy. It's a blizzard right now. So I really didn't think, I'm actually at the club right now. I just got here. I didn't think that the club was going to be open today. The last snowstorm we had, we were closed, I'm pretty sure. Or I know that one of the recent storms that we had, we were closed for. But this storm is like a blizzard. So, and the roads are pretty bad. I do not have snow tires, never have. I actually crashed into a snowbank on my way over here. I was stopping to get gas, and this was after shoveling almost my entire driveway, or excuse me, my landlord's entire driveway for almost an hour, I think it was. So yeah, a lot of times like the plow people will plow like the front, you know, entranceway to the driveway back at the place that I stay at. But today they didn't. So all of the big, like heaviest, chunkiest snow was all like compacted in the front of the driveway. And I didn't really notice that until halfway through. Well, you know, my shoveling of like the rest of the areas. So I had shoveled out most of my car area, and then I noticed the front area was all blocked with the chunky, heavy condensed snow. So that took me a while to do that. My wrists are probably gonna be pretty bad after that. My left wrist especially was feeling pretty bad lately. I thought it was doing better, but I'm pretty worried about it after today. And then my left shoulder has been really bad. So my right shoulder was actually hurting a lot during that shoveling. Yeah, it was a lot of work. And then I did, after I shoveled out the front of the entryway area, I did shovel out an additional parking spot, because what's happened in the past with snowstorms where I am, back where I stay, a lot of times if I shovel out my parking spot, somebody else will take it when I'm at work, and then I'll be stuck with like nowhere to park when I get back after my 10-hour shift. So, but I have this really like kind of bad feeling that, I don't know, I feel like even though I shoveled out an additional extra parking spot, there's this one random vehicle that will randomly be parked there like once in a blue moon. I hardly ever see a vehicle there, but yeah, maybe like once a month, or it's very, very rare, but kind of out of the blue it seems sometimes there will be this big SUV parked there. I just have a like sinking kind of bad feeling that it's probably not even like a person's vehicle. It's probably just like the Illuminati, like putting like a random extra vehicle there when there's snowstorms just so that I don't have anywhere to park. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Unfortunately, yeah, it's hardly ever there, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened the last storm we had. Like all of a sudden there's somebody parked there that's like never parked there. And yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen tonight, but we'll see. I'll try to remember to update you guys next time I come on, whenever that might be, maybe tomorrow for Tinka Tuesday. Woohoo! So yeah, I was, you know, pretty worn out after all that shoveling in the driveway, and then I had to stop to get gas. So when I stopped to get gas, I guess I was a little out of it by that point, and when I tried to pull in to the gas station, my car slipped and I crashed into a snowbank. And part of the reason I think I landed in the snowbank is because I almost hit a bulldozer that was like bulldozing snow, and I didn't want to hit them, so I kind of like swerved to and I just landed in the snowbank. But it wasn't too bad, thankfully. I was stuck for probably less than a minute, and then at first I wasn't able to back out of it, but I tried a few different ways with my wheel, and after like a minute or two I was able to reverse back out into the middle of the road and narrowly miss a car that was driving my way. That I, you know, just casually pulled into the gas station and got my gas, self-serve. That station used to be pumped by other people, and now it's self-serve, so I was a strong, independent woman and pumped my own gas and everything after all that. It was great. And yep, now I'm at the club. Can't believe we're open today. I wonder if anyone's, oh, but it's kind of funny. So today I actually already just signed in. When I pulled into the parking lot, it was just my favorite manager's vehicle, and like literally there's nobody else in the parking lot. It's my manager's favorite vehicle and then me. So, but I did call beforehand to make sure we were open, and there is somebody else in the building, thankfully. So, so there's a guy at the front desk. I guess he doesn't drive or whatever, but he's pretty nice. Luckily, he picked up the phone. Guys, I can't believe we're open today. It is so windy. I could hear the wind howling back at my apartment. But one good thing with this is it is extremely windy, but at least the wind is not blowing from the west. It seems like, yeah, from what I've read, I guess the wind usually blows from the west because of the way that the earth rotates on its axis, or yeah, the west is the most common direction for the wind to be blowing from, which in my apartment, all of the windows just so happen to be on that side. So I'm always like obsessively checking the weather reports to see which direction the wind is blowing from. Like, maybe it's not the west this time. And yeah, at least with this storm, it's not from the west. I think it's from the north. Mostly, it seems, or it's gonna be like going into like the northwest, but it's not directly from the west, so that's better than coming from directly from the west for me. Yeah, I think I twisted my ankle yesterday, not at the club, but I've been obsessively checking my electric meter outside the building because yeah, this is my 4th winter without having the heat on. And my electric bills have still been really high, at least for me, even with the heat off. So I've been kind of like suspicious of the electric company, or just something doesn't seem right with that. So I've been obsessively checking that meter lately and going outside the building. I always check it every time before I leave and every time when I get back. And when I went out, I think yesterday, I tried before, nobody ever shovels that area for some reason. So in order for me to get over to where the meters are, I had to shovel out a walkway a couple weeks ago, I think it was. But since then, a little bit of snow has accumulated over the top of that I haven't additionally shoveled out. So as I was walking over there yesterday, it's just very uneven, kind of like crappy texture, like surface terrain. And yeah, I twisted my ankle, and it was my bad ankle, unfortunately. So let's see, last night at the club was awful. Surprise, surprise for me. For anybody that might have been watching like recent videos, I've been having a pretty bad issue with the smoke stuff that they have used a lot off and on throughout the years. it wasn't really as much of an issue lately for me with the shifts that I was doing, because I've kind of purposely been doing the slower, crappier shifts to try to avoid it, because it's usually it was being used like less on the slower shifts. But last week, for whatever reason, they were blasting it even during those shifts, and same thing last night. Last week, Sunday was the one night that they didn't use it. They used it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but not Sunday. But last night was Sunday, and they did use it. So today is Monday. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for tonight or like ever. The rest of this week and just going forward, I'm just beyond fed up with this crap. I have thought about like possibly trying to sue the club a few times in the past, but that's just not my nature. Like, I don't like drama, and it's just too much of a hassle for me. Like, you know, I've definitely faced a lot of bad things here at this club. There were two DJs that used to work here that were basically like, it was kind of an extortion situation, where it felt like, to me anyway, where they were like abusing the smoke to try to get tips out of me, or not to try to get, they were getting all the money that I was making at that time. Now I just don't really make anything, so, you know, even if I wanted to try to tip the DJs now to try to like avoid that stuff, like, I'm just not able to anymore, because yeah, ever since COVID, there's just, you know, it's like hardly anybody comes in. The people that do are just like usually with other dancers, or they don't like me, or I just don't want to deal with them, or you know what I mean. So anyway, it's like, you know, sometimes I wonder, like, I mean, I've had like nosebleeds, rashes, hair loss. I've had a lot of bad symptoms, headaches from the stuff that they use. But honestly, on top of all that, I think the number one thing that really gets me the most is actually just how slippery it makes the pole. It's an oil-based product, so I kick my own ass to be able to do the pole like I do here. And I can still sometimes manage to do the pole when they're using the smoke, but nothing like I'm able to do other times. Like, it just brings down the level of my performance, my ability to do that stuff so much, and I get injured more because, yeah, the pole is so much more slippery with this stuff. So, like, think about it. It's a 15-foot pole and they're pumping oil into the air. Like, that does sound kind of weird, right? I actually have contacted OSHA in the past about this issue, but I never really followed up with it. I kind of chickened out, to be honest. I think they were about to do an investigation like years and years ago. This was actually shortly after COVID, because I remember for COVID we were closed like 5 months, and then when we were about to reopen, that's at that time the situation with the two DJs that I was really having issues with was still going on. And after being closed for 5 months, I had gotten a regular job during that time. Still terrible. That was also an abusive situation as well, unfortunately. No benefits, no health care, you know, just still a really bad situation. But I was really anxious to come back into the club when we were going to reopen at that time. So before we reopened, I did contact OSHA and kind of started that process with them. But I think then after we reopened, I was just so happy to finally be back at the club that I just kind of, yeah, didn't really follow through with them, which I don't know if that was like bad or like, I don't know, but yeah, it's like, I just can't really do my pole performance with that stuff. Just is so, it drops so significantly, and it's so much riskier, it's so much scarier. I'm putting so much more pressure on my joints, my entire body, just to try not to fall off of that thing, and I just can't do what I would normally be able to do on the pole when it's that slippery. I did ask the DJ to pause the smoke for my stage last night. I was like, can you just pause it while I go on? And she did, but then either she or somebody else put the smoke back on while I was upside down on the pole, which has happened in the past. So that can be dangerous, you know. It has caused me like almost panic attacks in the past, but whatever, as long as I don't fall off the pole, that's, you know, for now. But, you know, the thing is, like, if I did try to, like, go further with OSHA, like, contact them again or, like, sue the club, like, come on, like, the thing about that is, I've said so many times before in my videos, like, this really isn't about money for me. And, like, let's say best case scenario, like, I won the lawsuit and got money or something. What would I do after that? Like, this is all about a workout for me. Like, this really is all about me being able to go on that pole and do what I like to do on the pole to try to, you know, maintain some kind of level of fitness for myself. This is the best workout I've ever been able to get here at the club and on stage and on the pole. So, like, even say like I won a lawsuit and got some kind of money, what would I do? What would I do with myself? Like, even if I was able to go move to a warmer climate, I'd just, what, retire and sit around on my arse like a fat toad? You know, I'm pushing 40. So for me to not blow up like a big toad, like a, you know, like a warthog, I just have to, like, people don't seem to get it, but it's like if you don't use it, you lose it. For me, at this point, it's pretty much like every single day, just about, I have to do this or I will lose it. Like, I've learned that the hard way many, many times throughout the years. And like, even if I like won the lawsuit, I would still want to be able to work here. I would still want to be able to just do what I've been doing here at the club, working on a regular basis, going on the stage, going on the pole, getting my workout. So if I were to like ruffle feathers or like cause a big issue with like a lawsuit, they probably wouldn't want me to still work here. So yeah, honestly, if I were to like take this to court or contact OSHA again, it wouldn't even really be about money for me. It would more, because yeah, I just want to be able to work here and get the workout. Like, this really isn't work for me, it's a workout, if that makes sense. And if anything, I would just like want the judge or OSHA to just tell the club that they can't use the smoke while I'm here anymore. They have to stop harassing me with it and trying to force me to work the crappy day shifts with these gross old guys. No, I don't really mean that. I mean, they're not all gross and they're not all old, but ooh, a lot of them are. Sorry. Just for my taste, maybe, or it's okay. I'm old and gross too. Like, I get it. It's, you know, a lot of people are, but oh, I've met a lot of creeps here. I really have. And I really wish to not have to interact with them if I don't have to, you know, like, I mean, I still got it in me for night shifts, like I really do. And not only that, but I really should be working like Friday and Saturday nights probably still too. Like, I'm pretty good on the pole. Even with that slippery oil stuff that they put on it with the smoke, I still do pretty good on the pole. But when they're not using that smoke, I do really good on the pole, or I feel like I do. I mean, for me to be able to do pole tricks and not fall off or get seriously hurt, that's really good on the pole. Like, I go upside down, I do pole tricks. I mean, but no, like, I also work a lot of times with like long, heavy fabrics. Like, I've gone upside down and done pole tricks in like a long gown. I've gone upside down even recently this year, like wearing corsets. I've gone upside down on the pole wearing corsets, like heavy, real corsets. I've gone upside down and done pole tricks with pom-poms in my hands, like in both of my hands, just gripping on the pole with my legs and my torso, balancing one pom-pom on one shoe. Like, I do pretty good up there. It might not look sexy to people, but I don't, whatever, like, it's still putting on a show for the crowd. You know what I mean? It's still me going on the pole and doing pole tricks and not falling off. So, well, so far not falling off. Although, yes, that has happened before. Been a while trying to not ever let it happen again, preferably. But anyways, so, you know, yeah, I probably won't pursue anything as far as like legally, or I don't know. I just don't want to jeopardize my ability to still be here and dance here. I really love being on stage so much, you know, but I have dealt with a lot of crap here throughout the years, like pretty bad, really bad, you know. If anything, maybe I would eventually like consider contacting OSHA again, just to get an opinion, like just to kind of refresh what their opinion might be like. But honestly, I probably won't even do that. I just don't want to risk it, and it's so difficult for me to try to do anything these days, like just to find the time, the energy. I think what I'm trying to tell myself now is I'm just gonna force myself to build up a tolerance. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to that smoke stuff, but just gonna try to build up a tolerance. I'll be a mouth breather if I have to, you know, like if my nosebleeds get bad enough, I'll just put tampons in my nose if I have to. Like, I'll do whatever I have to do, you know. I'm not gonna let them win in that sense, you know. I'm not gonna let them force me off of the pole or off of stage into like crappy day shifts that I don't want to be doing. You know, stuff just, I don't like issues. I don't like drama. You know, I'm so used to toughing things out, and I've gotten pretty good at it, I want to think. I've had a lot of practice, you know, throughout the years with that. Yeah, so on that note, I was meaning to ask, there's a guy that comes to the club pretty much every Sunday, and he's a computer guy. So I've been having a lot of issues with my phone lately, and I was telling myself the past couple of weeks to try to remember to ask him if he had any input about that. So not yesterday Sunday, but the week prior, the Sunday before that, I had forgotten to ask him, even though I had been trying to remember to do so. However, last night he was here and I did remember to ask him. I mean, it was on my mind. I remember looking at him at the bar and being like, oh, he's here, I'm remembering, I could go ask him. But I purposely still did not ask him, just because, well, okay, I don't want to jinx it, but my phone has been a little bit better the past few days. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but it kind of seems like it has. So, but also, part of the reason I didn't ask him last night was because there was kind of this thought that crossed my mind where I was like, well, what if he did it? What if he's responsible? What if he's like so smart and such a computer guy that he's the one causing these issues that I've been having with my phone, and he just wants me to come over to him and ask him about it? You know, because I feel like guys will do that with chicks. Like, they'll cause a problem just so they can be the only one to be able to fix it for them, or that kind of thing. That's probably not the case. He seems like a pretty nice guy, but really I just didn't feel like doing it last night. You know, I just didn't feel like it. Yeah, I just wanted to be on stage. I was having a pretty good time on stage last night. I was really getting a good workout, and whenever that happens, I'm very happy with that. So, but on that note, I've kind of had this sneaking suspicion lately. So my favorite manager, He has been my favorite manager for a while, but sometimes I have conflicting feelings about that because I've noticed lately, well, the club got new lights for the stage lately, and I guess he was the one to order them. He's pretty much always been the one to like fix stuff here at the club and like just do a lot of stuff that needs to be done, it seems like. So I was starting to wonder lately if he was the one that put in that smoke machine that we have right now, because the smoke stuff issue has been an issue for me at the club for many, many years now, but the type of smoke machine they have right now is somewhat new, not super new, but it is different than the one that we had in the past some years ago. So I was kind of wondering, since he's been the one to pick out the lights and he built like an entire VIP room here at the club pretty recently, like last summer. So I was like, I wonder if he's the one that put that smoke machine up just so that I would like, you know, go to him to ask him to like shut it off sometimes when it's just driving me nuts too bad. And so that thought has kind of been crossing my mind lately. And I did actually work up the guts to ask him last night. That's something that I did manage to do. I was just like, hey, because, you know, it was on last night. So I was like, oh, you know, just out of curiosity, I was like, I know you picked out the new lights. I was like, were you also the one that, you know, picked out or put that smoke machine up in the booth, in the DJ booth, however long ago it was? And he was like, oh, he was like, no, the club already had it, but it was underneath a bunch of stuff, so I just brought it out and like basically like kind of started to have it be used. So I was like, okay, interesting. So that was kind of like what I was starting to sense. So now my next thought is maybe he's gonna leave the club in a couple months. He's moving somewhere else. So like maybe before, I'm gonna be really crushed when he leaves because he's still my favorite manager and he has been for a while. So now I'm thinking maybe like, because it's gonna be so, I'm gonna be so sad when he leaves, maybe I can just be like, well, before you leave, to make it a little easier on me so I can have some kind of silver lining with that, maybe you could just put that smoke machine back underneath a bunch of crap so that people don't notice it as much. I'm sure somebody would still like mention to like bring it back out eventually, but you know, like a lot of people, I know a lot of people, like it seems here at the club, like employees will sometimes actively try to like do stuff like that to bother me, and maybe try to like force me to like go back to day shifts or whatever. But a lot of times like in life, if somebody is not actively making a point to be like that, a lot of people just don't really seem to care about stuff or like think about anything other than themselves most of the time. So I want to think there's at least a chance that maybe if he just like put it back underneath stuff, like rather than out in the open like it is now, like maybe people would kind of just forget about it for a little while. Because that stuff has come and gone, it seems, throughout the years. Like, it's mostly been a thing for the most part, like, just for a long time now. But there's occasionally been, like, brief periods of time where they haven't really used it, like, occasionally. Like, maybe they run out of the fluid for it from time to time, or I don't know. I guess there's a few other dancers that will occasionally say to ask to have it off, like, that don't like it either. I don't know. It's all been very confusing and stressful for me for a very long time now. And yeah, for the most part, like the overriding theme is that it's usually being used and but it's just something I'm gonna have to get over one way or another, it seems, like as best I can. Just, you know, keep trying to lie to myself and just, you know, I'm building up a tolerance. I'm gonna build up a tolerance till eventually I'm immune to it, you know. But no matter how much I try to do that, I still can't figure out how to solve the issue of how slippery it makes the pole. So like that's still the big overriding issue. I'm a pretty tough person sometimes. Like I'm also a big baby, but a lot of times I just don't have a choice but to try to be pretty tough. Like, so like I'm the kind of person, like I could have a nosebleed on the pole and just like deal with it probably. My main concern would be not getting the blood on the pole because it would make it more slippery, but my main concern really is just that the pole is already so slippery without the blood anyway. So, but like, I wouldn't even care about the nose. Like, I would just be like, fine, whatever, like wipe it away, but just don't get on the pole. Or like, you know, headaches, hair loss, dripping from the nose, and like just like not blood at those times always, but like just like clear liquid dripping from my nose with it. Not a winter thing, because I know that's a thing with winter obviously, but like in the summer that'll happen too sometimes for me with that smoke stuff. It's like trying to talk to a customer and it's like drip drip, like, oh excuse me, just being poisoned. But there's nothing I can do about it, excuse me. Actually lately, where is it? Don't let me lose it. Oh, here it is. Lately I've been blowing my nose in this dirty Swiffer pad. Anyway, that's fun. So yeah, I can't seem to solve that. That's the main big issue for me, is how slippery it makes the pole. But realistically, like, I feel like I do have a point here. Like, I'm not going to argue the fact that the smoke serves a purpose in the sense of making the lights look really cool here at the club. Like, all the flashing lights and the laser beams, and then there's the smoke in the air, and it highlights everything, and it's so many special effects, and it's just so mesmerizing and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get that. I'm not trying to argue that. I just can't seem to figure out or wrap my head around, but what about how slippery it's making the pole? Okay, this is an oil-based product. It's continuous oil pumped into the air directly onto the pole. I don't know if anybody else out there is like good at empathizing and that kind of thing, but just imagine how difficult, if anybody out there actually is able to do that pretty well, maybe by chance, just try to imagine how difficult it already is to go upside down on a 15-foot pole and do pole tricks. Now imagine you have smoke being blown in your face while you're doing that the entire time. Like, you have smoke directly just being blown in your face nonstop. Now imagine that not only that, but that smoke is an oil-based thing. So it's like blowing aerated lotion right onto that pole that you're on 15 feet up in the air. Can anybody understand why this upsets me like it does? Yeah, and it's like, it wouldn't even be worth it for me to try to like really make more of an issue of this. Like, you know, contact OSHA again, take it to court, because I just need my workout here. I just need to get my workout. Like earlier today when I was shoveling all that snow, I was like, this might suck a lot, but at least I'm getting some exercise. But then it's like, you know, why though? Because, you know, there's never been a time that I've really been good enough for anybody, it seems, anyone or anything. I've been single almost 15 years now. Mostly by choice, but also like there just doesn't seem, I never really meet anyone, or there just doesn't seem to be that opportunity to like really possibly think about or trying to initiate anything with anybody where I'm from anyways. But then it's like, why do I put myself through this? Like, why do I do this to myself where I'm just I'm pretty much like constantly consciously putting myself in danger and harm's way. Obviously, like, it's not all by choice. If I had a choice, I wouldn't shovel all the snow just to get exercise. I would still choose not to have to shovel the snow if I really had a choice. Or felt like I did. You know, like, but it's like here at the club, especially, like, going on the pole like I do, and going on the pole versus not doesn't seem to make a difference as far as like tips usually. Like, almost every other dancer here can just go on the stage, just kind of slowly, casually just pose, look sexy, and get rained on. Whereas I can go bust my arse up there and do pole tricks and nothing, just like crickets, you know? So it's like, but yeah, I just still want to try to get as much exercise as I possibly can in the moments where I actually feel like my environment is conducive to that, and in the moments where I'm actually able to find the time, find the energy, find the circumstances surrounding me that will seem to allow for that. But it's like, it really has never seemed to do me much good, and it is really confusing sometimes because it's like, I go to the grocery store and I see all these, you know, oftentimes like larger, maybe like just like not conventionally, not what I would personally consider to be all that conventionally attractive. Basically, I see a whole lot of wildebeests and warthogs in the grocery stores. Okay, I don't want to be mean. Like, I don't like to be shallow. I don't think that looks are everything. But clearly they're not. Clearly that's it. Like, looks aren't everything, because I'll see like, yeah, a lot of non-conventionally attractive people that I wouldn't consider to be all that attractive, but they've got their boyfriends and their husbands, and they've got carts full of groceries. They've got this big old cart, right? Just stacked high, full of stuff. Like, they don't seem to have a care in the world, the cost of their groceries, what they look like, you know, just warts with hairs sticking out of them and no makeup, and I mean, just looking a hot mess, really, even more so than I would say that I do most of the time. But they seem so happy and so carefree, and it's like they've got, a lot of times they've got these people next to them that seem to just like love them and adore them and worship the ground they walk on for some reason. Like, I'm just wondering, like, what is it about their personalities that are just so amazing? Like, is this like the funniest person in the world that I'm looking at? Like, is this the nicest person in the world that I'm looking at? Like, what is it about their personality that's so mesmerizing or amazing or just worthy of like just partnership and love and commitment and all of these nice groceries and just a normal, happy, relaxed, carefree life? That obviously I don't know if that's actually the case for them, but that's what it seems like by just the vibes that I'm getting from them. And it's like, all I can really do on my end is just imagine like what might actually be going on there, whether it's their families that are, you know, helping out with like the support and just or maybe like they're on government assistance to be able to get all those groceries. But from what I've heard, even government assistance isn't really that much. So, okay, so then what are their jobs then? What do they do for work? They must have the best job ever. Like, they must be such hard workers. They must just have the best job and work so hard. And what might it be though? Like, give me some ideas, please. Like, what are their jobs? Like, what's their best joke? What they just, you know, what is it? I want to be happy for them. I think I mostly am. I mean, the more people in society do well, in theory, you would want to think that would have like, we're all connected in a sense. So you would want to think that would make it more likely for other people to do well too, maybe. I don't know, but I want to be happy for them, but I'm just more confused and concerned for myself. Like, damn, I really am a screw up. I really am a loser. I really am a failure in like every sense of the word, it seems like. And I would like to try to fix that, at least to some like extent. Like, I would at least like to try to work on that. I know it's not something to be fixed overnight, probably like but I would at least, okay, so like, how do I at least work on this? I have to get a better personality. I have to be nicer. I have to be smarter. I have to be funnier. I have to look better. I have to do better. I have to get a better job. I have to maybe just go on a dating site and just like, I don't want to have to date. I don't want to have to like ever be in a relationship ever, like you, but maybe I can just try to lie to myself about that too and just force myself anyways. Like, maybe that's just what you have to do, or what I'm gonna have to do, or, but I really don't want to, but, yeah, I don't know. It's just, wow. It's really interesting to me. That's why I'm so fascinated by other people, because it's like, what might their lives be like? Is this just a simulation? Is any of this real? Like, what's their secret? Like, what? I want to know everything about them. Like, how do they do it? How do they make it look so easy? Why is it okay for them to not be perfect? Like, why is it okay for them to not be conventionally attractive, or not be in super great shape? Or why is it okay for them to not be super bubbly and outgoing and funny? Or why is it okay for them to just be kind of average seeming or normal? Or I don't know. Anyway, so let me just take a quick peek at my notes here. Let's see, what do I have written down for today? I think most of that was kind of just off the top of my head, but oh, okay. Oh gosh, my cheeks are still so red, you guys. I was doing a lot of shoveling earlier. I'll be honest, I am very much dreading later on tonight. Well, I'm wondering if the club is even really going to be open for full hours tonight. Like I was saying earlier, I'm surprised we're even open right now, but it's only just after 3 o'clock. So it's just like shortly after 3 hours into day shift. Normally we're open until 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm wondering if we're still going to be open like regular hours after this. And then I'm just really anxious, like if so, or regardless, like whenever I get back to my landlord's apartment later, like I'm just so anxious about, excuse me, the parking spots. I did so much shoveling earlier, and I really don't want to have to do more later. I honestly shoveled out damn near the entire driveway. I mean, almost everything I shoveled, and it's a pretty big driveway. So, let's see where we're at here. But I still can't believe how, like, they're still really red. I would have thought by now they would have, like, dissipated a little bit. 14 viewers, wow. Well, hopefully that means I'm streaming right now. Hopefully that's some kind of indication that this isn't a simulation too right now. And am I really real on here? Am I really streaming? 42 minutes. Okay, so I started this at 2:30. That sounds right, I think. Okay. So, you guys, but a lot of times lately, well, I don't think this stream is going to be that long today, I want to think. But a lot of times, the longer my streams are, the longer ones especially seem to get cut short to where the ends don't post all the way. So I'm trying to think, like, I have to really, like, make a point to especially embarrass myself towards the end of my videos, because yeah, I just feel like that increases the chance that those parts won't be cut out, so that people will be able to just see me really making a complete fool of myself. So far, my theory has proven correct, because the last 2 videos that I did, I really made a point to just, well, the last video that I did yesterday, I did not like, and I was saying all throughout it, I was like, yay, I don't like this one. That means it'll probably post okay, and it did, lo and behold. Same with the one before that, I was making really ugly, like especially ugly faces towards the end, horrible lighting. And yeah, my thumbnail for that one, you can probably see, is like not that flattering. And I was like, all right. I was like, but that one was really long. And I was like, okay, so normally the ends of that kind of long video with that kind of length, it would be cut out towards the end. So I was like, towards the end, just making all those faces, and I was like, that might actually have it post, and it did. So far that's my theory proven correct twice. So now I'm thinking like, okay, what can I do towards the end of this video to try to make sure I really don't like it and don't want it to post maybe all the way? I was like, I'm gonna pick my nose. I was like, because that smoke stuff at the club like really makes me feel congested too. You know, just like sniffling, and then obviously winter too on top of that just makes it worse. But so I was like, well, okay, so if I pick my nose towards the end of this video, then I might not mind as much if that part gets cut out. So maybe I'll do that, but I'm not really at the end of my video yet. I still have a few more things I wanted to say. Okay. So a positive thing from my shift last night was that was about 3 weeks into my diet. I haven't really been on a diet, but we'll say it's been 3 weeks since I've overindulged on popcorn. How about that? Oh, I haven't had popcorn at all, I'm pretty sure, in 3 weeks, which normally I would just like pop nonstop with the popcorn, just like day and night, just constant popping of the popcorn. So last night was my first time on stage, finally starting to feel the effects of that, like finally starting to feel a little bit better in my body, like definitely nowhere near where I want to get back to, but there were certain there were certain things on the stage where I noticed the difference. So one of them is where I'm doing a middle split along the tip rail. And lately when I've been doing that, honestly, lately it's been difficult for me to even get into that position in the first place. But lately, what I used to be able to do not that long ago, once I was in that position, I used to be able to grab onto the tip rail with my hands and kind of like push my body up and down on the tip rail to kind of like bounce and get some space in between my legs and the tip rail. Kind of like on a not on a pogo stick, but just like bouncing up and down on the tip rail in the middle split position. Visualize that if you can. I don't want to be like too inappropriate. It's it kind of sounds a little maybe anyway. So but so lately when I've been trying to do that, I've just been so like kind of sore, stiff, just not really feeling too great, to where I haven't really been able to lift my body up. Like I've still kind of been able to get into that middle split position on the tip rail, but when I was going to try to lift my body up off of the tip rail to get that bouncing motion, I wasn't really able to do it anymore. I wasn't really able to get that space up until last night or yesterday. So yesterday I went back to try to do that after like some time of, you know, not really doing it as much, and I was able to do it. So I definitely felt better with trying to do that than I have for a while. And there were a few other little things here and there where I noticed a positive difference, like I want to think moving back into a more positive direction as far as trying to get back in better shape for the spring, which I'm trying to tell myself is going to be, you know, right around the corner eventually, someday. Sort of, kind of, yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Oh, but yeah, so I was getting a really good workout on the stage, which is great, but so yeah, my favorite manager had put in some new lights recently, and I've said before a few times that I would get really concerned about, well, especially, I don't know, with the lights in the past, the older lights, it's like, well, still now too, but it's a little different now. Before, I would worry a lot of times about how anybody can just walk into the DJ booth and press any kind of button what a lot of people do here, employees, like, will managers, DJs, that kind of thing, when they're in the DJ booth, I've noticed a lot of people do this where they'll just very abruptly and very drastically change the lights or change the music mid-song while a dancer's on stage, aka me especially. But they've done it to other dancers too, so it's not like it's just me. But I'm a dancer that I've never seen any other dancer at the club dance quite like I do on stage sometimes. Obviously, I've seen plenty of dancers here do plenty of things that I can't do, like with their own kind of stuff, or there's plenty of stuff that they do that I can't do. I'm not saying that they couldn't do what I do as far as my way of dancing. I'm just saying that I haven't seen it before. And I'm sure a big part of that is that it's not sexy. It's not flattering, it's not sexy. Again, my main objective here at the club and on stage, it's not to be sexy, it's not to make money, it's to get a workout, it's to get exercise. You know, in the hopes of someday finally being able to be in decent shape enough to feel a little bit better about that. But so I especially my favorite way to dance with that is to dance around the stage very fast. But I feel like because of that, I really have to be extra careful, or try to be, as far as like people in the DJ booth just abruptly changing the song, abruptly changing the lights in a very drastic, sudden way mid-song. And I guess with the new lights, or the lights that were on for a lot of my stage yesterday, it seems like these new lights kind of just do that on their own, in the sense that, like, yeah, at first they were changing very drastically, like multiple times, while I was up there dancing around very quickly, very fast. A very sudden, quick, drastic change in the color of the lights, the pattern, the style, and it was doing that just many different times, kind of randomly, it seemed. Just throughout different, just kind of randomly, just it was happening a lot. And at first I thought maybe it was my favorite manager doing that in the booth, but like I noticed that happening while he was in the booth, but I also noticed it happening when he wasn't. And I don't think anybody else was in the booth when that was happening some of those times. So it's almost like that's just a new version of these new lights where they just do that by themselves, which is interesting. But I actually felt like I was doing pretty good with it. After a certain point, I noticed it happening, so I was aware of it, at least at that point. And a part of me wanted to like slow down and hold back because of that, but I just went with it. And I feel like I did pretty good. I was still dancing around very fast. I was in the zone. I was going ham and getting a good workout. I was exercising myself for sure. But then also there was a point where this time I'm pretty sure it was my favorite manager that did this. Like the music actually stopped mid-song. So I was still going around ham, just like, you know, just really, really dancing fast. And he just stopped the music mid-song without warning, just in the middle of all that. And I kept going. I didn't slip, I didn't fall, I just kept going. I didn't even miss a beat. I mean, at that point there were no more beats to miss because the music was off. There was no music, but in my head there was still music. I was still just dancing to the beat of my own drummer, or I had my own beat still going on, maybe my heartbeat, or I was still dancing, you know, I didn't even care. I was like, I was in the zone, and I was there to get exercise, and that's what I did. And I'm still a fat ass. So, oh God. After all this stupid crap, because I still eat bad stuff. I still eat Dollar Tree snacks, and I still, you know, But it's like, damn, I feel like I have potential. You got to understand, this is me pushing 40. This is me with a lot of health conditions. This is me with no support, no health care. You know, imagine if I had like a better lifestyle. Imagine if I actually had a support system. Imagine if I actually had like a sponsor or a regular or something. Like, imagine if I was actually able to eat healthy, or like felt like I was able to afford it. Imagine if I was actually felt like I was able to afford to have the heat on in my apartment. Imagine, like, I imagine this, like, if this is me with how bad my circumstances have been, how crap my diet has been, how crap my circumstances have been, with the constant like torture and harassment with the smoke machine and just all of these crappy things that happened with me, like barely being able to cook at my place, have the electric on, like no heat, no cooking, no healthy food really. Like my situation, my circumstances have been pretty damn crap for a while. And if this is me now with those crap circumstances pushing 40, I can't help but to imagine, like, damn. Imagine, like, I imagine what I could be like if I actually had a better life, you know, or like more of a chance, more of a fighting chance. You can't keep a good dog down. Is that the saying? But boy, do they try. And I wonder why. Because, yeah, I feel like I have a lot to offer. I feel like, but I think this says a lot about society, doesn't it? Or does it? Maybe it just says something about me. Or I'm not too sure, really. Oh, we have a visitor. Hey.
We got one customer if you want to try to get something.
Where'd they come from? Where's their car?
Over there.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you.
The stage is kind of down too, so.
It's down?
Yeah, Joe's got a ladder up on it, messing with the lights, but he's sitting at the bar, so.
Okay, thank you.
You know.
Thanks. God, they're doing more with the lights, you guys. What the heck? Anyway, I'm glad he came and interrupted me, because otherwise I would just keep going and going about that. You've heard it all before, or most people probably have at this point. All right, what else do we have here? I already know, without even going in there, I know that the person by the bar is not somebody that I want to talk to. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I can only imagine who it is by the bar. I just know there's like a 9.99% chance, a 9 out of 10 chance, 9.999 out of 10, or like 99.999 out of 100% chance that whoever it is by the bar is somebody that I would actively want to try to avoid at all costs. Like, but that's kind of discouraging that the manager is working on the lights on the stage, because normally I would be excited to go in and go on stage. What could he possibly be doing with the lights right now? Like, I thought that the lights were already as up and on and going as they could possibly be now for a while. Like, yeah, I definitely felt like the lights last night and lately, since they added the new ones, I'm pretty sure they've been at like max capacity, or like max. The volume on them, the level is turned all the way up, it feels like. I don't know what else they could possibly do with the lights here. Like, is that really necessary? So it's about to be 3:30 on the dot in less than 1 minute. So I'm gonna check my timestamp. Oh God. So this is already longer than I thought it was gonna be, but please tell me that. So I think 3:30 on the dot. Okay, so we should be at an hour. All right, that looks right. I'm trying to remind myself not to, when I cross out these notes that I've already talked about, I gotta always remember not to cross them out too heavily, because again, a lot of times my videos don't go well, or like get cut short or get muted, and then I have to just try to re-say everything. So on that note, I guess I better pick my nose now to try to increase the chances of the rest of this video. I'm gonna show you guys the booger too. Is this allowed? Like, oh my gosh, she's like reaching into an orifice. The thing is, like, being a woman, being a female especially, I feel like pretty much anything you do can be like sexualized, but especially when you're a stripper or when you're in the adult industry, like, I feel like doing my YouTube, I have to try to be so careful about what I say and what I do, because being so open about being in the adult industry, it's like, I don't want things to be taken the wrong way, or I don't want to seem like I'm being like too sexual or too suggestive, or I feel like it's actually like more strict for females in the adult industry. Like, if you have a female do that kind of thing, like on a more like generic, like kind of vanilla site like YouTube, it can probably just be like whatever. But if they're very open about being in the adult industry, it's like you got to be so careful, it feels like, because it's like more strict. Like, things could be taken like the wrong way so much more easily, or sexualized so much more easily, or whatever. How sexual can this possibly be? Like, I'm sorry, I have to do something. I wouldn't have to go this far if my videos weren't messed with as much as they are, or if I wasn't messed with as much as I am. Like, YouTube, you fix the problem for once, maybe. Like, you guys, I'm trying to do what I can, okay? Like, I'm really fed up with my videos, like, not posting properly. Like, what else can I do? Like, God, like, fucking... It's so bad. Now my cheeks are never gonna de-redden. They're never gonna go back to regular color. Like, I was like, it's probably not allowed to punch myself in the face, but I really feel like it sometimes. So another person just pulled into the parking lot. That's fun. I wonder who it is. I wonder if they're worth my time. I wonder if this is worth my time. Let's see. 30, wow, it said 30 viewers, but then it jumped right. So it said 30 viewers, but the second less than a half fraction of a second later, it jumped down to 24. So that is a clear indication that this is not, that's definitely me being messed with. So that's concerning. Oh, I see a male and a female and they look nice. Oh, it's two chicks. There's two girls coming in. Hi. Hi. Are you guys going in? Oh, fun. Maybe I'll come in and do some pole tricks. Oh, and there's a guy. I'm afraid to open my window because the wind is blowing in this way, so I'm so scared for my phone right now. Anytime I crack the window, there's like moisture blasting into my phone. Oh God. Honestly, I still have a lot more to say for this, or I feel like I do, but okay, I think I got the vegetable wrapper. I'm pretty sure the vegetable wrappers, okay. Crap. But I can't throw it away because I feel like this video might not post properly, so I can never just assume that I'll just have to tuck that away and save it for later just in case. Okay, crap. Just gently, very, very lightly cross these out, but not really cross them out, of course. Just gently, gently, gently. So what was I just saying? I have no idea. I know that I was just picking my nose, but oh, okay. So I was saying how I'm sure for like strippers, like there's probably a fetish for that. So like nose picking is probably a fetish. Like anything can be fetishized or sexualized, but especially for strippers, it seems like, or in the adult industry. Fun. But so I think a few minutes ago, I was talking about like me just like dancing around really fast like a crazy person on stage. Usually when I do that, it's like kind of for the shift change. I used to actually do that a lot for day shifts back when my favorite manager did more day shifts. I would literally do day shifts specifically just to do shifts with them and get a really good workout on stage like that. Whereas lately, he hasn't been doing day shifts as much like he used to, I don't think. So lately for a while, I've been doing more of like a swing shift, like in between shift change from like day shift to night shift. And then just like finishing out the night shift. So mostly night shift, but usually when I usually get the best workout, a lot of times it's earlier on in my shift for like kind of like the middle part or like the shift change or swing shift. And like lately and yesterday and just, yeah, lately in general, I've been getting such a good workout during those times, like earlier on in my shift, that I've pretty much already worn myself out by the time the DJ even gets here. So the actual, like when I'm doing that, it's usually like my favorite manager in the DJ booth, or maybe sometimes like another employee, like a floor host or that kind of thing, or like just the kind of the AI in the DJ booth. But the actual human DJ comes in usually around like maybe 10 on average, it seems like lately. So by the time they get here, I've usually already been going ham on stage, like almost nonstop for like hours and hours. And then by the time they get here for the actual night shift, I'm like completely, I've already worn myself out by that point. But anyway, I do remember last night at the end of the shift, normally I would try to close out the night and finish the shift, but well, I didn't last night, and I was kind of mad at myself. Like, it was like the last 20 minutes of the night and there was nobody there. So I had already been going ham like all night, and I knew we were about to get a snowstorm and that kind of thing. So I went to my locker and tried to like get things. I mean, I have so many layers with this stuff lately, like with the storms and stuff and just the freezing cold, where it's like it takes me like 20 to 30 minutes just to get my like outdoor stuff on, which is great. Hold on. I'm free to, all right, I'm gonna put my Swiffer.
I think the stage is open now. He took the ladder off of it.
Okay, thank you. He knows that'll increase my chances of wanting to go in there, by a long shot. Can you guys hear that wind? Holy crap. If this has audio, can you hear the wind? Yeah, so it takes me like 20 or 30 minutes to get my winter gear on. So by the time that I had done that, it was pretty much almost the end of the night. And then lo and behold, these 3 people are all of a sudden magically at the stage. Like, up until then, there was like nobody there at all. And then I have all my winter gear back on after like 20, 30 minutes of putting it back on. We'll go with 20. And I go back out over to the balcony area, and then there's just these 3 random mystery people that just like magically popped out and appeared out of nowhere. Granted, they don't let any new people, they say, into the club after 1:45, so we close at 2, but I think they actually shut the doors at 1:45, so whoever's already in there at that time, like, they're not letting new people in there, they say. So I don't know where those people came from at the very end of the night, but again, it seemed like they kind of just like magically randomly appeared. But it's like, you know, even regardless if they weren't there, or with people there, I at least try to like put on more of a show a lot of times, or like do pole tricks. I'm more like incentivized and motivated to try to do pole tricks and that kind of thing. But regardless, I'm usually just so focused on trying to get a workout, and yeah, like towards the end of the night, I want to try to warm myself up before coming back outside. And it's like, you know, there was another dancer that went on stage with those people, so it's not like, you know, so that was fine. But you know, like I shouldn't beat myself up and get so mad at myself, because like to me it's like that's a little bit of extra exercise that I could have gotten. And I just, it's weird to me how much I can feel myself like kicking myself and beating myself up for not trying to get that little bit of extra dancing time in on stage. And I really shouldn't do that. Like I would want to think I'd not feel as bad about it, because I know that I had already been on stage for hours and hours and hours, you know, like earlier that night and for most of that shift, like that entire time that I was there. So but that's just how I am. Like, I'm really here to be on stage, like, as much as possible. And I feel like anytime that I miss an opportunity to do that, I really do beat myself up about it and just like kind of feel like guilty about it, or just kind of let down just with myself, you know, like I'm letting myself down, or I'm just missing an opportunity, like. But I'm about to start my period, so when I was shoveling all that snow earlier, like I could just, and I'm wearing a corset. Underneath this, I am wearing a corset, and I have the period cramps and just my shoulders and my wrists and my back. I'm just so sore from my PMS and the shoveling and just, oh gosh. I'm so glad that I already went to sign in earlier so I don't have to do that in the middle of this video like I have had to do a lot of times lately. But okay, so I think I'm almost at the end. Okay, so this is kind of random, but sometimes I just want to say it because I think it's cute and funny. Depending on who's working for floor host, most of the time I'm ready to go on stage. Like, I'm either on stage or I'm waiting to go on, or like getting ready to go on. So, but certain employees here, certain floor hosts, especially during the night shift, they will, you know, a lot of them are pretty nice these days. So a lot of them will try to go find the dancers that are going to be next on stage to kind of like give them a friendly little heads up. Like, we already have the whiteboard in the DJ booth that we can go look at to like check and see when our turn is, like where our names are written on the board. But yeah, like some employees just, for whatever reason, just, you know, to be nice or whatever, they'll make a point to go try to find the dancer that's going to be on next and just like let us know just in case, just to kind of like make sure that we're ready and stuff. So I'm usually one of those dancers that's pretty much always ready, but I still appreciate that they do that, you know, because it is nice. But sometimes, like if I'm in the bathroom, or I don't know, if they're not able to find me right away and then I kind of just like magically appear like right as my name is being called to go on, they'll be like, oh, here she is, or something like that. And I'll be like, here I am. Here I am. It's funnier when I say it in person here at the club. It's not really funny right now, but I swear, like if you're in the moment here at the club, it's funny, or I feel like it is. I laugh at it. I think it's funny because I'm just so cute sometimes, you know. It's like, where is she? Where is she? And I'm usually having to pee, you know, I'm usually probably in the bathroom peeing. But then boom, like I come right out there and I am ready. I'm ready. I'm on time. I'm there for my name and my name being called. It's my turn. It's my time. I'm ready for it. And then I just get there right on time and I'm like, here I am. Here I am. I can't say it right now. There's a certain way that I say it in the club. So I say it a special way when I'm in the club. I feel like I can't do it right now. I'm sorry. But anyways, who cares? All right. Jeez Louise. Oh. I think one thing, okay, so I think I've said almost everything. I want to save one thing for next time. And then I'm trying to keep this video a little more positive as best I can compared to my last one, because I know my video yesterday, I was like in a really bad mood. And I honestly thought that I was going to be in a really bad mood for this one, just with like the blizzard and the PMS and all of the snow shoveling that I was doing earlier, and almost crashing into the bulldozer when I went to try to get gas. I made a quick recovery. I just, you know, it took me a minute or two, but I just eventually backed right out of that snowbank and went and got my gas like nothing had happened. Anyway, so I did not actually hit the bulldozer, by the way, but I did come close. a nice, happy, positive thing, sort of. I don't know, but so, oh God, I got recently, I actually did this yesterday. So yesterday before my shift at the club, I don't know, I think I was like too embarrassed to say it yesterday, but I did make a special trip back to the Dollar Tree. I had already gone to the Dollar Tree like a few days prior on Thursday, and then yesterday was Sunday, and I specifically went all the way back to the Dollar Tree before my shift at the club just to get these cans of mangoes that I had gotten on Thursday. On Thursday, I only got one can of the mangoes because it was my first time trying them, or like that particular brand and that particular type, but oh my God. So I went, they were so good. I went back specifically yesterday to get more, and oh God, they're so good, you guys. And oh, I just, lately, not lately, but for a while, when I eat back at the apartment that I've been staying at, usually I will either eat in my bed, or usually most of the time I'll sit down in my bed in front of my laptop when I'm having like oatmeal, or, well, it's been a while since I've had popcorn, but up until recently I'd had popcorn like all the time. So I'll have popcorn in my bed when I do have the popcorn, oatmeal. Some things I'll have like, yeah, on my, like sitting on my bed in front of my laptop. But then most of the stuff that I have, I eat standing up in the kitchen. My kitchen's very small, and I don't have like a regular like dining room kind of table or chairs. So yeah, like most of the time when I eat, it's standing up in the kitchen. But I do have a desk like kind of off to the side, and the desk is for my laptop, but like my other laptop for writing, because I've been trying to write a book for a while. Well, it's been a while since I've worked on it, but so my regular laptop is the one near my bed, and that's just like my normal laptop for like recreational stuff. And then I have a separate laptop that I always keep off the internet that's supposed to be for my writing, and that's the one that's supposed to be for the desk. So I've been thinking lately, like, I know a couple times, excuse me, in the past, I had used the desk to like, excuse me, kind of like have like a sit down almost kind of meal with like a plate and like to eat at the desk before. But lately I don't really have meals. I just kind of like have random things, like a lot of random things, just like standing up or in my bed. But I was thinking lately, the way that the mangoes are, they're just so like soft and nice, and I kind of just want to like cut them with a fork and knife, like to make them last longer. So I was thinking lately, like my desk is a mess right now and has been for a while, but I'm like, I've really only sat at that desk to sit down and try to eat there like a few times, and those times were like a very long time ago. Like I'm pretty sure when I first moved in there, like 2016, when I first moved in there, I tried sitting at the desk to like eat there, and it didn't last very long, and it just kind of like, yeah, became more of like a regular desk for my laptop, and I just went to eating in the kitchen and near my bed, or on my bed. So, but now I'm thinking like with stuff like the mangoes and like just stuff that I can like maybe like cut up with a fork and knife to make last longer, and just kind of like try to do it calmly, like sitting down. I'm thinking maybe I could clear off some of that desk clutter and go back to trying to eat there, like at the desk. And it's kind of sad because I think part of what, it's sad, but it also makes me laugh, you know, because I think part of why I like to eat at my laptop is just to feel like, to have that distraction and to feel less lonely. And like, you know, like it's distraction, it's noise, it almost feels like company. Like when I'm usually watching videos on YouTube, like when I do that. So, you know, it's like noise, it's comfort, it's distraction, it feels like company almost. Whereas if I were to go to like sitting at the desk and treating it as more of like a table kind of situation, like sitting down with like a plate and like a fork and a knife, I feel like it would be more of like a quiet, kind of lonely, like just kind of pathetic feel to it. Like this lonely single person just kind of in this cold, dark apartment. I used to have background noise playing on my iPod. I guess I could put the radio on, but that's too distracting for me. With the radio on, I really would just want to get up and dance around, like to try to warm myself up. But so anyways, especially with the radio off, like I'm trying to save electricity like any way that I can. So Even with the radio, like I barely put that on. I don't have the iPod for the background music anymore lately. So I'm kind of just trying to picture myself at the desk, like in this cold, dark, lonely apartment. And I'm just sitting there with a plate and a fork and a knife, just sitting by myself. And it kind of, you know what it makes me think of and reminds me of? It reminds me of that meme. I don't know what this meme is from, but it's like this guy and he's standing or sitting in these different areas. Like there's like a bunch of different pictures of him. Like one of is of him, like I think at a playground by himself or like sitting on a swing by himself, just kind of like standing and like staring and looking sad. And then there's like another picture of him, like I think like sitting like, yeah, like at a table on a chair, like kind of like in a dining setting, just like sitting by himself, just like looking sad like that. And there's like various pictures of him just like by himself, just like standing or sitting by himself looking sad. What is that meme? Because I know I've seen it multiple times before. It's been a while since I've been able to go on my Facebook because my Facebook has locked me out recently. And for a while now, I've been pretty mad at Facebook for a while because I haven't been able to log on. And then when I try to say that I forget my password, they won't send me the code to my phone, which is concerning. But anyway, so what is that meme, you guys? Because I can very clearly sort of see it, not that clearly, I can sort of see it a little bit in my head right now. I feel like if I look this up online, I'd probably be able to try to find it. I don't know what they call it, but some people might know what I'm talking about, hopefully. So anyway, that's definitely what it reminds me of. Yeah, I'm just picturing myself just like, let's just make this as sad and pathetic as possible. Just like cold, dark, lonely, just me sitting by myself at like this desk with my fork and my knife and my plate, just like, you know, me and my intrusive, upsetting thoughts and feelings. But the mangoes are great. If I can do it with the mangoes, that would be helpful, because it's one thing if like the stuff that I'm actually trying to eat is crap, but the mangoes are so good. So that part makes me happy. And they're like brightly colored, like they look like sunny colors and just, oh, they're so good. But anyway, what else was I gonna say? I do have to pee really bad, as usual. So okay, so I thought this part I was gonna save for later, but maybe I won't. We're almost, I'm trying to do the timestamp in my head real quick. We started at 2:30, 60. It should be 80 minutes, I think. 82. Okay. I have two more things. All right, so I've been talking lately about how as of now, I don't think I ever want to try to monetize my YouTube unless, and this is actually unfortunately probably pretty likely, but when that day comes or when that happens, I'm not too sure, but maybe in the future, if I, you know, eventually get desperate enough, I will monetize my YouTube or just suck it up and put the ads on. I don't know, like whatever people do. But as of now, I really want to try to avoid that just because I don't want the ads. I don't like being interrupted. It confuses me. It sounds like too much of a hassle. Like stuff just tends to stress me out and overwhelm me. And it's like, I try to keep things as simple as I can. You know what I mean? Which is not easy, especially these days. But I actually came across this interesting concept lately where somebody else on their YouTube was talking about how somebody had edited their videos and made clips of them and started a separate channel pretending to be them. So now I have like this like weird kind of fearful thought in my head, like what, especially because my videos tend to be very long, most of them. So it's like, what if somebody else were to just like steal my content, like edit my videos and like take clips and start their own separate channel pretending to be me so that they could monetize that channel and make money off of my content. That's messed up, right? Is that illegal? Because it should be. So what can I do to try to prevent that? I'm like wondering now, like, should I put like a disclaimer? Like, should I randomly just like throw out a disclaimer like halfway, like periodically throughout like every 15 minutes of my videos, just be like, by the way, the name of my channel is this, and if you see this on anywhere else, make sure you know that's not actually me, or that would be annoying to try to do. It kind of reminds me of that concept of like being catfished, like on dating websites. Like the internet really does freak me out and stress me out, because it's like people, I guess, can just take pictures of like people pretending to be them, and we have a visitor again. I gotta get the Swiffer over, you guys. Hey.
Sorry to bug you, but you got people in there asking for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They're like, where's she at? Where's she at? And I took them on a whole tour of the building to kill time.
Oh, the three young people?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they look nice. I'll go in a minute. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jacob.
Yeah, you too. Okay, at least it's not like some creepy old guy. No, sorry. I think I did see those three people earlier. They look nice. They look young and hip, and I'm not like against like, it's just we have certain guys that come in here, like, it's not like I don't like older people. Like I said, I'm pretty much old myself. It's not like I don't like, there's just certain regulars that come in here that I really like try to avoid. But yeah, those three people that came in earlier, I think they look nice. And I do have to pee. So, but that's kind of freaky, right? Like, be like almost like being catfished on a dating site. Like, I imagine guys doing this rather than females, though. I really, unfortunately, like, it's harder for me to picture a female doing this. I can definitely picture like the DJs that I used to work with doing stuff like this, like where they would pretty much just do anything to try to make a buck off of a female, it seems like. I don't want to say that or be like that either, but that was the vibe that I got from them sometimes, where it's like no code of honor, like no, just like they'll do whatever they could to make money off of me, it seemed like. One way or another, like they were gonna monetize my tush, my arse, A-R-S-E. You know, that's what I'm here for. That's why I exist, you know, be a little moneymaker for the world. Not even for myself, but, you know, for others. Or maybe, I don't know exactly, but I don't want to say that about those DJs. I mean, one of them was, I think, in the Navy, so that's kind of like the military, so maybe he would have some code of conduct, but he treated me like crap. There was no code of conduct there, really. It was like the opposite. It was like do whatever he could to just, I don't know. It was weird times. But I did used to be like kind of worried, like, what if he would just take my pictures back when I was on Facebook? Because we used to be friends on Facebook until he blocked me years ago. But like, what if back when we were on Facebook, like when we were friends on Facebook, like what if he would just like take pictures off my Facebook, because I'm not on any dating websites or profiles. I like never have been, but it's like, what if him or whatever other guy out there would just like take my pictures, make a fake profile pretending to be me. Guys, it freaks me out so much. The internet is a scary place, and so is the world, obviously. Like, they're reflections of each other, I guess, but oh man. Just so anybody knows, I'll just say right now, I'm not on like any other websites. So if anybody did see me on any other websites, that's probably not me. I'm technically signed up on like a webcamming site, but like a adult kind of themed site, but I haven't even been on there since May or possibly June, like last year, obviously. But yeah, that's unlikely. I don't really hardly ever go on there. I'm not even really on Facebook anymore. I'm not on any dating websites. I don't have any other YouTube channels other than like just to like watch videos. Like, I'm not like streaming or making videos on any other channels, just to put that out there. Maybe I will try to say that more often just in case, but not that I really care that much, but I don't know, it's just like a weird kind of concept to me. Like, I don't know, everything is a weird concept to me basically anyway. But anyway, so one more thing that I wanted to say for today, not really say, but kind of like more like show, because I'm very proud of these, and yes, I know they're very beat up. But it's 4 o'clock on the dot. I made these shoes myself. I didn't make the full shoe, obviously, and yes, I know they're like gross looking and beat up. Like, I've had these for like years and years and years. So that's the worst side, but this side might be a little better. As far as the snowflakes, like I added the snowflake part. So I made the snowflake parts. I just added it onto the shoe. But I'm so proud of these shoes, and I'm glad that I found them today. I found them in my car, but it took me a minute to try to find them. And just in case, that's why I want to show them now, in case anything ever happens to them. I mean, they've already taken a beating, much like myself, really, but getting kind of banged up over the years on stage and whatnot. But yeah, I've just always been really proud of these, and I try to wear them like, yeah, when we do get the snowstorms and get snow and stuff, as a way to try to like cheer myself up, I guess, a little bit. It's not like I'm gonna wear these in the summer, although I have before, like when I'm running low on shoes and stuff, which I have been for a while. But usually I try to just save them and keep them for the winter, you know, when we have the snow and stuff. But yeah, I've always been really proud of these, and these are my 8 inches. So I don't know, I'm also really proud of myself when I am able to still wear the 8 inches. Lately, I've been doing more like 7s and stuff. 7s is just so different than 8s for me. It's a whole different ball game. I don't know, I really struggle with the 8s. But I am proud of myself when I'm still able to wear them. So I hope I don't regret this later. I might try to wear these in the club tonight, because I'm assuming this is probably going to be a slower shift. I would think so. You know, it is still a blizzard right now, and I think it's supposed to go into the later hours tonight with the snow and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much all for today. My cheeks are still a bit pink, aren't they? But I am really happy that I was able to come on and do this today. It says that I have 12 viewers, so 13. So I really hope that that's maybe some kind of indication of this hopefully streaming okay right now, even with the storm and stuff. But if I'm able to, if I still feel up to it tomorrow, that will be Tinka Tuesday, as are most Tuesdays. Every Tuesday is Tinka Tuesday for me, actually. So yes, I would definitely like to try to come on tomorrow if I can. So hopefully I'll be able to update you guys as far as like how things go today and tonight with the storm and the 8-inch snowflake shoes. I do call them my snowshoes. Those are my snowshoes, just my club snowshoes. So anyway, oh gosh, the 8 inches though. I used to be able, like not that long ago, I used to be able to really like still dance around really fast on stage in the 8 inches and just all of that. But I really should get in there. My favorite manager's in there, and I guess I think I'm the only dancer here, you guys, which is crazy. When I signed in earlier, they said that I was the first one, and I haven't seen anybody else come into the parking lot, so I'm probably the only dancer on shift right now. And I have been the only dancer on a shift before, a few times actually. It's a weird feeling, but I'm just really happy to know that I saw those 3 people come in earlier, and they're like nice looking, like younger, just like more people close to my own age, it seems like, or probably even younger, but I mean, I'm pretty old myself, but anyway. And 2 of them were female, so that like feels better than like what the circumstances could be. So I will try my best to update you guys hopefully tomorrow or as soon as I can. But thanks to you guys for now for watching. I hope you guys are staying warm and feeling well, and peace out for now. Gotta remove my rubber band. God. Okay, bye for now, guys.